There is only one way under high heaven to get the best of an argument, and that is to avoid it. Avoid it as you would avoid rattlesnakes and earthquakes. You have probably seen it and lived through it, but 9 times out of 10, an argument only ends with each contestant being more firm about their own belief and decision than ever before. They go their own way, maybe it's happened to you, and they think, yeah, I told them alright, or yeah, I'm sure that I'm right and that they're wrong. And sometimes you'll be able to corner them until they have no more ways out, and you win the argument. But guess what? A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I love that quote. What it entails is that you can't really force opinions upon others. And they may tell you yes, or they may not have any more cards to play, they may have been disarmed, but they still believe in what they believe in. Why? Because they don't feel good about how they came to learn these things. People want to feel good about everything, about the product they buy, about the things they think. They want to feel special about it. They want to feel like, yes, they are smart. If you force them into it, they will feel like they were dumb for not thinking that way. And in most cases, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. And in any case, at the end of the day, when we are arguing with another person, what we are trying to do is strengthen our learning, to know whether we have the truth or not, to know whether we are correct or not. We don't simply want to be the best out of the two, we want to be the best in general. But an argument is an argument, not a conversation. And hatred is never ended by more hatred, but by love. And likewise, a misunderstanding is never ended by arguing, but by tact, diplomacy, conciliation, and a sympathetic desire to see the other person's viewpoint. Now, how come it's a misunderstanding and it's not an argument or a disagreement? Most cases, things are simply just a misunderstanding. I mean, there's not really many things that we have in different as humans. We all want the better for everybody. We all want a world that's more safe for everybody, more just for everybody. We want the best for our family or loved ones, and so does the counterpart. It's just that, maybe sometimes not everybody can win, or maybe sometimes you have slightly different views under slightly different names, but ultimately, you want the same thing. And if there was a word to describe this thing, it would be love. So how could you avoid a misunderstanding from turning into an argument? Because as I said in the introduction, the best way to win an argument is to avoid it. So how can you start by saying, alright, I'm going to not enter this argument and clear up the misunderstanding first, because I understand that this person and I both want the same thing, to feel important and to feel loved. So here are some procedures that you can do to avoid the argument and leave it as a misunderstanding and clear it up before it evolves. Whenever you hear a snapping of the fingers, make sure that you fix your posture and you take deep breaths into your diaphragm from your nose. Enjoy the video. Firstly, welcome the disagreement. Be thankful that it is brought to your attention. It is a chance for you to maybe learn something. How come this other person is disagreeing with something that I am saying? They must be an idiot because I'm smart and I'm the best. No, you shouldn't think that way, and you shouldn't think that way. If you're in pursuit of knowledge, you have a lot to learn. And you will always have a lot to learn. We cannot learn everything, and for this, when there's a disagreement, be thankful for it, welcome it. This is an opportunity for you to see what the other person's thinking, and perhaps correct the mistake you were doing, or simply learn more about the other person. The next step, distrust your initial reaction. Now, in things like arguments, or when we have something like an argument that goes against what we believe, we may jump to being defensive. This happens, let's not deny it, it's happened to me, it happens to me still, all of the time. But be careful and keep calm and watch for your first reaction, because it might be you at your worst self, not your best self. Next up, control your temper. Remember, you can measure the size of someone by what makes him or her angry. But if you keep patient and you stay stoic about things as they are just there throwing a tantrum, then that's way better for you. The next step is listen first. Now, why you? Because you are the one that is acquiring this knowledge, you are the one that's learning how to avoid the argument. So give them a chance to speak, because everybody wants to share very fast what they want to say. Sit there in silence and listen to them attentively, with active listening methods. You nod, you squint your eyes, you do this even if you have no beard. Do not resist, defend, or debate. Just listen carefully instead of building barriers of misunderstanding. Now, another good reason why you need to listen first is the next step. Look for areas of agreement. Once you've heard them out, dwell on the areas that you agree on and focus on them a bit more. Share with them the sensation that you and them are not so different. Then be honest, point out the things that you may have done wrong, and it will also help reduce defensiveness when you want to tell them the things that have bothered you that they've done. After you've done all of that, promise to think over your opponent's ideas and to study them carefully. But really mean it, because at this stage it's much easier to agree than to all of a sudden disagree. And it may be that your opponent might be right. And it may be that you will find yourself, if you rush over rapidly to another situation, and you're compromised in a situation where they will say to you, "We tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen," and that would be the worst thing. After that, thank your opponent sincerely for the interest. If they took the time to debate or argue with you, it means that there were people who cared and were in the same interest as you, and they may have wanted for you the best thing. So thank them for that, because they wanted you to learn the best or whatever. Think of them as people who really want to help you, and who knows, maybe your opponents will turn into friends. Now finally, postpone taking action and give both sides a bit of time to think about it. We all know that when we sit in the shower after an argument, we think about things we could have said. Well, in a similar kind of approach, if you give each other time before you make a rational decision, like let's say it's your girlfriend or boyfriend, alright, we're breaking up, and then you regret it or you get divorced, instead of taking right away action, maybe you leave your job and it wasn't the right thing to do, you should have waited a bit longer. Take some time and tell each other, alright, let's talk about it over tomorrow's meeting, or let's talk about it tomorrow, baby, or whatever. And in this time that you're giving each other, ask yourself some hard questions. Could it be that I am wrong? Or could it be that they are right? Even partly right? Is my reaction one that would relieve the problem, or one that would relieve my frustration? Really powerful questions, you know, things of the sort. This should all help you avoid the stage of yelling and arguing. Although do remember that when one person yells, the other should listen. Because if two people are yelling, no one is listening to each other, and there's just bad sounds and vibrations. I've applied all of these principles with my family. You may think that you shouldn't do this with family, that's more for business or friendships. I've done it with my own family, it's worked wonders over and over again. But you must remember that all of these things, you need to do them honestly. You can't fake it, you can't just be a psychological master chief and just try to pull the strings. That will be the worst thing for you as well. You need to do this from an honest point in your heart. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, share, whatever, comment, and strive to be 1% better every day. Much love.